In a most turbulent world, many of us are clutching at straws, doing any and all things to stay afloat. Some have been injured in the battle of life, many more have given up and are just marking time, waiting for their Maker to call them home. For those of us who pray, any answered prayer is a miracle in itself, seeing how bad things are generally. Sometimes one begins to question the whole concept of Christianity, because how do you begin to explain the state of our world, whereas Christians make up to 2.38 billion of the worldwide population of about 8 billion people? 2.38 billion Christians. Wow. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. This is how Jesus Christ described those of us who are called Christians. Those of us who will gather in churches all over the world today, proclaiming our faith and affirming our adherence to his doctrines. How can our world be so desperate, so dark, so negative, and yet 2.3 billion people who are supposed to be the salt of the earth exist in it? Jesus often chose common subjects to demonstrate his teachings. Salt was so important and valuable that Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt. Hence the expression, "He's not worth his salt." Beyond being used for clearing roads and preserving food, salt also enhances the taste of everything it's added to. So when Yahushua described his followers as salt, it is because we are supposed to make a difference in our world. We are supposed to be the difference, to effect and affect, to influence our society, our homes, places of work, and school. How more dramatic could he have been? You are the light of the world. This is one of the most powerful descriptions of the role of Christians in society. Light piercing through darkness. Light illuminating our world. Light providing direction to the lost. What then happens when it seems we have lost our savour or that our lights have been extinguished? Eat food without salt or drive through some of the streets of Nigeria at night when there's no power, and then you see what our world is like without practicing Christians. On the other hand, fly above well-lit cities and see how beautiful they are. This is how Christians are supposed to beautify the world with their light. But if the salt have lost its savour, wherewith shall it be salted? How can we make salty again salt that has lost its saltiness? How can we make those who say they are Christians begin to live up to their higher calling? As a subject matter today, I am using Lucanus. Now Peter and John went up together into the temple at the hour of prayer, being the 9th hour. And a certain man lame from his mother's womb was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful, to ask alms of them that entered into the temple. Who, seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple, asked an alms. And Peter, fastening his eyes upon him with John, said, "Look on us." And he gave heed unto them, expecting to receive something of them. Then Peter said, "Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have give I thee. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, rise up and walk." And he took him by the right hand and lifted him up. And immediately his feet and ankle bones received strength. And he, leaping up, stood and walked and entered with them into the temple, walking and leaping and praising God. And all the people saw him walking and praising God, and they knew that it was he which sat for alms at the beautiful gate of the temple. And they were filled with wonder and amazement at that which had happened unto him. Peter and John went up together into the temple. This togetherness is absent in the Christian faith today, as we strive and compete against each other. We want our individual churches. We want the biggest titles. We have done away with brotherhood and introduced the doctrine of me, myself, and I. As they came across the man who was not beautiful at a place called Beautiful, they knew they had to do something about it. How many Christians walk past poverty, injustice, iniquity, sickness, and strife every day without getting involved? It's not my problem, we say, or because we have lost our savor, we say we have too many problems of our own. Every man to himself and God for us all is our operating principle. The best we can do is carry that man to the place where others can help him, and by so doing, we have satisfied our Christian conscience. I don't have 10,000 naira to give you, but I can show you Obiора's house. Please don't tell him I am the one that gave you his address. The best phrase we use to show our Christian empathy is, "It is well with you." And that means we have you in our prayers, but that's where it ends. We say, "You are always in my prayers," even when we know we haven't prayed in years. But Peter and John, in unison, looked at this man whose twisted body was incongruous with the name of that gate and said, "Look on us." At that moment, as the lame man looked up at these two men, expecting to receive the alms he always got from others, he saw Jesus Christ through their eyes. He saw himself the way God saw him. He saw a world different from what he knew it to be. He saw that there was something more precious than money. He realized that the most important gift in life is to live a life the way God designed you to live that life. So as Peter said, "Rise up and walk in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth," he had already seen through their eyes the image of himself walking. But Peter didn't just stop at prayers. He held him by his hands and lifted him up. This is how you join faith with others. It's not just in words, but in action. Peter and John didn't start thinking themselves, which church will he join, mine or yours? Which church will he pay tithes to? No. All they knew was that this was an opportunity for them to show Christ to him. They knew that this was a golden opportunity for light to come into darkness. The silver and gold they didn't have to offer him is what Christians now worship all over the world. We live for money. We are defined by material things. And when we die, material things now define how we are buried. I am sure that if Peter and John lived in our world today and opened their mouths to say, "Silver and gold I don't have," the lame man will say, "Why are you then wasting my time? Why are you blocking others from seeing me so they can give me money?" It is really sad what our world has turned to. 2.23 billion Christians are not affecting our world because we no longer care about letting people see Christ through us. We are as lame as those who seek help from us. We call and answer the beautiful name of Christ, but we are not beautiful. We are ashamed to be called hypocrites, so we choose to hide the fact that we are believers. We can't say, "Look at us," the way Peter and John said, because we know it's not Christ people will see. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. The eternal struggle of all believers is a struggle of self over God. We see ourselves and our imperfections. We see our impurities and our stained bodies, and thus we are no longer able to see Christ and show Christ to our world. It has never been and should never be about us. It will always be about God. If we put him first, we will see him first. We will live his life first, and we will show him first. This is the only way we can salt our earth and light our world. This is the only way we can confidently say, "Look on us." And men will see Christ when they look on us. God bless you all.